Well, see, I started out in patrol like everybody else. I was there for a couple of years, and then I went to the narcotics team and did that for a few years. And then for 3 years, I was assigned to the DEA task force. Came back to the department and was a corporal on a patrol team for a couple years, and then when I got promoted to sergeant, I got transferred to investigations.
Okay.
And was there for 4 years, and then promoted to lieutenant. I worked as a watch commander for a couple years, and then when I made captain, I was the operations captain for 2 years. And then about 4 or 5 years ago, I was transferred here to investigations, where I am today. I've stayed 25 years because, well, one, because we all need a job, but I've stayed here because this is a good place, and we do good things, and quite frankly, because we have really, really good people. And like we were talking earlier, like finds like, and it's been really gratifying to work all these years with really professional, caring, competent, awesome people. And I've been very fortunate to be allowed to work with them over these years, and that's kept me here. I grew up in Toronto, Canada. I went to the University of Toronto twice. Yeah, I didn't get through the first time. I left in my junior year to join the Marine Corps during the first Gulf War.
Okay.
And then when I finished up my enlistment 4 years later, I went back home and finished out the school.
As you should.
Yeah, my mama said I had to, so no, it was a good decision. Go home, finish it out, and then come right back to Charleston. Truly one of, if not the formative experiences of my life. You definitely walk into that world one way, and you come out a whole different way. And definitely a positive impact for me. I really was, I think, like a lot of younger people, I didn't have a solid sense of myself or the direction that I wanted to go in life. I had a couple ideas, but not really a clear path. And the Marine Corps definitely changed that. Learned how to make my bed, learned how to clean, learned how to be disciplined, learned how to grow up. And it absolutely changed my life for the better. Because I think, like a lot of people, before you hit your stride in life, you know, it could go either way.
Absolutely.
And I'm very, very, very grateful for what the Marine Corps gave me. It gave me great examples of how to be as a man. It gave me a great sense of what's important in life, and I'll never forget it. Some of the people who've been the most influential for me, most of them came from that time.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a lot of really good cases. I bought a ton of dope undercover, and it was exciting and it was fun, and I'll never forget that. And we've made some tremendous cases, put together stuff that's right out of a TV show. Did you go that? There's no way that case is going to get solved, and we solved it. We've worked some really important things, and I'd like to think that we've brought some people a measure of justice. We've kept this town safe. We really have, and I'm tremendously proud of that, because it's my family out there, it's my friends. This is my community, and I do take a sense of pride for having been part of keeping the streets safe for them. But the really memorable things they're not the ones that you're going to get on the 6 o'clock news. You know, it's being in a grocery store and having some guy come up to me and say, "You remember me?" and having no clue who he is, and him saying, "You locked me up 15, 20 years ago, and thank you for doing it. It helped me get my life back together." Things. And the good times, right? The laughing and joking with the people that you've worked with here, you know, getting called out at 3 o'clock in the morning is not fun. But when you're out there at 3 o'clock in the morning with the really great people that I've been fortunate enough to work with, it makes all the difference. And those are the things that I'll remember. We had old Crown Vics. I had Unit 100. It was my first car. And I got paid $17,000 a year. And I had the biggest smile on my face, because I couldn't believe they were actually paying me to go out and get to do the things that I was doing. And that sense of just being an excited kid, it's never left. Town has grown tremendously. I think when I started here, it was probably about 37,000 people, and I know we're pushing 100,000 right now. The number of officers has not kept pace with that. So that has definitely been something that I wish had been different. So we'll see if that changes in the years to come. We've grown up, I think, in a lot of ways as an agency. I just this week, as a matter of fact, a guy that was a police officer here for 5 years in the early 2000s. He moved off back home to be a police officer there. He came back and was visiting with his family, and I walked him around the new building, and he was amazed that, you know, this wonderful building that we're in now is definitely a step in the right direction. And so we've grown up with that. We've done a really good job, in my opinion, of leveraging the technology and getting smarter in terms of how we do the job. But some things have stayed the same. You know, chasing the bad guys is still chasing the bad guys, and you need good cops to do it. And we've got them. There's some people in this office that I've been with for 25 years, and their competence, their skill level, their professionalism is just tremendous. And when you get to see that machine firing on all cylinders, it is a beauty to behold. The last bank robbery we had, Well, I think we solved it within 30 minutes. I mean, just an amazing team of people that's here, and that hasn't changed. And even though I'm the old guy now, and we make all the jokes about the millennials, some of them very appropriate, I'm still really pleased when I see a lot of the young people that are coming on board and working here. They got that same passion for doing the job. They've got that same sense of wanting to help people out there. And so that hasn't changed. And I hope to God that it never does. One of the big ones I would say is don't believe what you see in the news, right? There's been a lot of negativity that's swirled around this profession over the last couple years. And I'm not going to say that I haven't ever experienced a negative thought or word or deed from the public, because there certainly has. This can be a rough business, and people generally don't like it when you arrest them for doing bad things. But the support of the public has never changed. It really hasn't. And in fact, I want to say over the last several tough years nationally, where things have been going on, I have witnessed and experienced more love from the public out here than I ever did. And that I don't think is ever going to change. Always remember that there's a whole lot more good people out there than bad. I tell the young guys, don't ever fall victim to thinking it's an us versus them world, because it's not. It absolutely isn't. Be nice, like we talked about. You have no idea how the world will turn and the hand of God will be out there, and you'll run into the same people or their family or their friends down the road. You'll see them again. Be nice. It never hurts. Know your bad guys. Know who does what where. Pay attention to the little details, because they'll come back and they'll make a difference. Don't take credit for things, especially if you ever get into a leadership position. Don't ever take credit. It's always the team, or it's always this other guy. But don't ever be the one who puts their hand up and says, "Oh, that was me." Treat everybody with respect. I mean, these are very simple life things, but they, especially in this business, they pay off. And I think that's because what we do is so amplified in people's lives. It may be just, hey, it's another Tuesday for us, but somebody out there dealing with a police officer, that's a big deal for them. And it's important to remember that. Know when to run and know when to walk. That's a big one, especially if you become an investigator. Remember, what are the things that I'm going to lose if I don't jump on it now, versus we can get it tomorrow.
Right.
And if you ever become a supervisor, remember to treat these people like your children. And I don't say that in a patronizing way. I don't mean it that way at all. What I mean is, just like a parent with a child, love them first and foremost, and always be looking out for their best interest before yours. And sometimes that means discipline, and sometimes it means correcting them, but always with the mindset that these are people that I genuinely care about, and I want to see them succeed. And if you approach it like that, you'll never go wrong. Is that I gave them a good example of how to do this job. You know, when you get into law enforcement, you go to a pre-academy, then you go to the academy, then you come out and you do your field training, and you go to a training class here, there, you do your annual training. There's all this training. But none of it, quite frankly, none of it will ever prepare you for that 3 o'clock off the wall, bizarre situation that you find yourself in, or will prepare you for how to deal with that tragedy that somebody out there or one of the people you work with is experiencing it. Nothing ever does. But learning those simple basic rules of leadership and how to be a police officer, treating people with respect and putting them before you, those are the simple life lessons that will carry you through those things. And I hope that maybe one or two of the people that I've worked with here over the years will, after I'm gone, say, you know what, I know how to handle that because I saw him do it, hopefully. This is an important business. This is a profession that makes a difference in people's lives, for better or worse. And I would hope that the people who are coming after me remember that that this is about service. This is about protecting those out there who can't. It's about serving the public and upholding the values of our community, looking after each other, and never be ashamed of this profession, never be ashamed of what you do for a living. And if you genuinely put your heart and soul into this, you'll go home at the end of every day and be tired, but also be thankful for the opportunity to have made a difference in people's lives.